Report story. Deku's Pa. Ochako had refused to let me go, even when the medics had come to take any injured hero or police worker away from the scene. Any uninjured were left to surveil the situation. Ochako and I managed to come out of the mission relatively unharmed, though they still wanted to take us for examination since we were just first-year trainees. I ended up having to carry Ochako on my back if we had to walk any distance, as she, again, refused to let me go at any point. Somehow I was able to get her and myself in the back of the ambulance with Mirio. Ochako and I sit on the bench of the ambulance while Mirio lay on the ambulance bed. Mirio had taken the most damage out of the big three while protecting Eri. He had held off Chisaki and three of his goons. Ochako and I rode in silence, her having a death grip on my arm. I look down at her. I can't see her eyes, her bangs were covering them. I look over at Mirio, trying my hardest not to burst out crying. I hadn't heard at the time, but I was told a little after the fight that Mirio had permanently lost his quirk. My senpai could no longer phase. I couldn't help but feel like it was my fault. I hadn't arrived fast enough to help. Izuku. I looked down at Ochako, honestly kind of surprised. She hadn't spoken since holding on to me earlier by the lamp post. She grips me a bit harder. Don't. Don't blame yourself for this, she said quietly. I look at the top of her head, she is still looking downwards, and start to tear up. Thank you. Ochako, we've checked every inch of your body, Mr. Midoriya, the doctor said, staring down at the clipboard taking down notes. Though your arms, we do have serious concern about them. Yes, I know the damage to my arms, I say a bit frustratingly. I was now sitting in the doctor's office, getting checked out to ensure no physical damage had come to me when Ares' powers had been out of control. I start to zip the top of my hero costume back on. Sir, I'm a bit more concerned about my friends, where are they? I'm directed to different places of the hospital seeing everyone I can get to. Asui had come out fairly unscathed as me and Ochako. Hiroshima was bandaged head to toe, every crack he had received had caused an open wound on him. Mirio was unable to be seen. Eventually I run back into Ochako, who was waiting outside one of the higher-end hospital dorms. She notices me and gives me a sad look. As this, I start to ask, full well knowing the answer. Yeah, it's Night Eyes. I feel my hand fist up as I start to head towards the door. Ochako grabs me by the hand. I don't think you want to go in there, she says, looking at me with intense eyes. I frown at her. I have too, but will you come with me? I ask, gripping her hand tightly. She nods. There he was. Multiple cords and machines running in and out of the hole in his stomach. I stare. Night Eye. Am I? Do. Ria. He calls out softly. I go to the edge of the bed, Ochako, waiting a bit of a distance away. I'm sorry. I ever doubted you. He apologized, looking at me. You are worthy of it. I never should have told you that you were not. No, Sir Night Eye. You have to stay with us. There's still so much I need to learn. Please. I cried, tears running down my face. Suddenly a door burst open. All Might and Recovery Girl are standing in the doorway. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Golden, Hispanic, Latina. Femme. Reader. Exizuku. 11.9K 324 completed. heiress to the richest company in the world. The government of Japan has good relationships with your grandfather. It was the duty of the government to save. Dreamscape Reader X Midoriya X Bakugo Todoroki, 342K9.6KYN, has been trapped for most of her life, used as a tool for others' gain. Her quirk was fabricated to be used as the perfect weapon, a weapon to help in stealing other. Villain Deku, Villain Rehab, 10.5K237, words. 23,820. Izuku was just 14 when he met All Might and asked if he can be a hero, but All Might crushes his dreams and left him on a rooftop. What All Might didn't. Captured by Love. BNHA Villain Redemption, a 134K 2.8K Izuku. Midoriya has never felt more confused. Being a villain has taught him to never get attached to anyone, because they'll either end up betraying you, or you'll be. Cruelty. X1.2M 40.1KLNYN, a very hostile girl whom despised everyone and everyone despised her. Izuku Midoriya, a very sweet boy who was popular with his classmates, oddly developed. Revenge of the Wronged Hero who happens to be 0.76.3K91801 could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. There's something up with Izuku Midoriya 18.5K339 Izuku. Midoriya had watched his mentor fight for his life and end up using the last of his power. Now being the sole wielder of One for All, Izuku knows he needs to work. Visiting me now, after so long, old friend. Night Eye weakly calls out to All Might. I should have made it sooner, All Might started but couldn't finish. He and his old friend had fought long ago and neither could speak to each other due to some unknown reason. Don't worry about it. Night Eye called, chuckling. You chose well. Night Eye looks at me. I never should have doubted your choosing. Suddenly there's another burst in the room. Mirio, followed by a nurse trying to contain him, forced his way in. Sir Night Eye, he called, leaning weakly against the pro-hero's bed. Don't die. You're not allowed to. I need you here to keep training me. Mirio. Night Eye called out, raising a hand to Mirio's face. Don't lose that smile. It doesn't suit you. Night Eye activates his foresight, looking directly at Mirio. You'll be a great hero, both of you. Please keep smiling. Night Eye's hand falls in All Might, Mirio, and I burst into tears. Mirio and I are gripping the side of the bed, desperately trying to take everything in. I feel a pair of arms and a feeling of warmth on my back. Ochako was doing her best to comfort me. I wished I had the energy to turn around and accept the comfort. But my hands felt like lead. I couldn't move, sobbing too strongly. Ochako's paw. It's been a few weeks since Night Eye's death. The burial took place a few days after all the pro-heroes had been discharged. The funeral was small. As much as heroes wanted to attend, everyone knew that grand gestures and big events such as those were not Sir Night Eye's forte. Only a few had went to Sir Night Eye's funeral, Izuku and Tagata being chose of the few. As much as I wanted to go with Izuku, that was one of the times Izuku had to do this with someone who was there, who knew him and saw him as a mentor. Tagata was with him, and that was fine for the time. However, that was a few weeks ago. This was today early in the morning. And today Izuku was sitting in front of Night Eye's gravestone, alone. It was Saturday. No classes today, and I had noticed each Saturday and Sunday Izuku had left the dorms early in the mornings. Before I had thought it was for his usual training regiment, but I had noticed, having gotten to know him more and more these past few weeks, Izuku had been returning, not in his workout clothes, but regular pajamas or casual clothing. Something was definitely off, and that leads to today. I watch Izuku from a distance as he sits at the grave, the orangey tang of morning light overtaking the sky and orange accents bouncing off of the surrounding structures and nature. Izuku was seemingly contemplating things, putting everything together. He's been doing this every morning, but he stays for longer periods of time on the weekends. I take a deep sigh. I don't know how to help him. I had never experienced a death as Izuku did. Sure, I was there when Night I died, but he wasn't my mentor. There's no way I could understand how Izuku feels right now. What if it was my mentor, Yukio, who had died? What would Izuku have done for me? I'm sure try and comfort me the best I can. Og, I don't know what to do. I slap both sides of my cheeks repeatedly. I sigh again. Izuku is hurting and I'm over here scared to talk to him. He had gotten distant these past few days. I don't know how to break the ice, if that's the right words for this. I sit on a bench and stare once again at Izuku a bit of a distance away, just sitting at the gravestone. I furrow my eyebrows. I can't help but think, as selfishly as this is, that Izuku was hiding something from me, not just me but everyone in the class. I don't think Night Eye, right before he died, realized that I was in the room before Mirio had come in. Even before All Might had come in, I had stood closer to the door while everyone had their moment. Night Eye had said something to Izuku that hadn't made sense since I had first heard it. You were worthy of it. I never should have told you that you were not. Worthy of what? What did Izuku have that he was worthy of? I thought originally that it was just a hero spirit or something cheesy like that. But it was what he told All Might that really caught me off guard. You chose well. Night Eye looked over at Izuku. I never should have doubted your choosing. He had spoken those words to All Might. Something was off. It sounded as if Izuku had been chosen by All Might and Night Eye wasn't impressed originally. And then Izuku had proved him wrong after the battle with Chisaki. Of course he would think highly of Izuku now, but what did All Might choose him for? I know I wasn't supposed to hear that. I mulled it over on the bench for a second. I know that Izuku has an unimaginably similar quirk to All Might, and Izuku and All Might have a, well, more than teacher and student relationship. I thought it was just coincidence, but there has to be more going on. The best conclusion I can come to is that All Might chose Izuku to be something. Most likely because their quirks are similar. But why hide that? Why hide it from me? Even if we are still in the talking phase, Iida and I are his best friends, right? I shake my head vigorously. Maybe it has something to do with his past, but now is not the time. Izuku needs me. I stand up and jump up and down a few times. I'm gonna go over there and talk to Izuku. Ima, do it. Ima, do it. Come on, legs, move. I know it's been awkward for him dealing with this, so why can't I? I look up at Izuku one last time. I know why. I'm scared. What if Night Eye's death made him rethink everything? The people he cares about. I know Deku. He doesn't like losing others he cares about. What if he's pushing me away to protect himself from getting hurt? I fall to my knees. I can't. I can't accept that. I like him. A lot. A lot. A lot. I can't be without him. But how can I be with him if I can't even help him through his time of need? I can't just hug him when everything first gets bad and then go silent on him. Giving him space is one thing, but leaving him alone just isn't right. I'm supposed to be there. I steal my resolve and get up. I walk towards the grave. Izuku. Izuku yelps a little and turns around on the ground to face me. Ochako, what are you doing here? He asked. He had bags under his eyes. He hasn't been sleeping well. Well, I came to ask you the same thing. I say to him, putting my hands behind my back. Everyone is worried about you. I'm worried about you. Izuku gives a small smile. A fake smile. I'm fine, Ochako. Really? That's not true. I say, noticing Izuku's unconvincing facade fall. You should know I of all people won't believe that. I point towards a spot on the ground, and tilt my head a bit to the side. Izuku looks at the spot next to him and nods. I sit next to him. Talk. He looks at me, then looks back at the grave. I did it. I saved Eri and beat her abuser. I saved her along with the help of everyone else, Izuku starts. Night Eye originally didn't think I had what it takes. Couldn't blame him. My quirk appeared late, and I had no control over it at the beginning of the year. I feel my eyes furrow for a split second. Quirk appeared late. Of course that's what Izuku had always said, but now that I know what All Might and Night Eye said. Not the time, Ochako. Later. I wanted to show All Might and Night Eye the hero I would become. Night Eye had high expectations for me. I know he said I'll be a good hero, but I can't help but feel I'm going to let him down. A tear runs down Izuku's face. I wipe it off with a finger. Izuku, Night Eye cared the world for you and Mirio. He has high expectations because he believes in you. You saved Eri and you'll save a bunch more. Quote dot. I look at him, gently pressing my hand against the side of his cheek, making him look at me. I place my forehead to his. I don't want anyone else I care about to get hurt. He said quietly. Unfortunately, you're in the hero course, Izuku. Your friends will get hurt. I will get hurt. I don't want to see you get hurt either. I'm sure there will be many, many, many more times I cling to you for dear life after a battle you get out of, but it's our jobs. You said it yourself. I will be a hero that saves everyone. Izuku's eyes get wide. Don't tell me you're ready to quit now. Izuku's eyes harden. Never. I pull my forehead away from his and look him dead in the eyes. Then show Night Eye the hero that you'll become. He told you to smile, didn't he? Smile. Smile like All Might. A genuine smile shows up on Izuku's face. He chuckles and gets up. He offers a hand to me. What would I do without you? He asks me. Oh, you know. Wallow in self-pity. I shrug. Hey, too soon. Izuku pouts, and then laughs a bit, unable to keep the act up. Come on, Izuku, the sky is almost blue. We'd better get back before the others worry. Or worse, Mina starts up something for everyone to gossip about. I start to walk but notice Izuku isn't next to me. I turn around to see Izuku staring again at the grave. Suddenly, Izuku bows to Night Eye's grave. Please, watch over me. I smile. That's my Deku. Oh, by the way, I call over to him. He looks up and starts walking to me. You owe me a date to the mall, mister. Izuku's face goes beet red. ADD date. He stutters. I don't know, Ochako. Not that I don't want to. I mean, I'd love to go with you. why wouldn't I? But are you sure with me? I don't know how good I'd be. I know I said I'd try, but what if I screw up? Is there a format to these I can look at? But I'm sure. I put a lip to him to stop the mumbling. A single, okay, will be enough. I release my finger from Izuku's lips. Oh, okay. I smile. It's set then. We better pick a good day to go on. Things should get better from here. But there's still a lot to ask Izuku. His past, his relationship with Night Eye, and a bit more. I've got a lot of unpacking to do. But what can I say? I do like him after all. Ken Lair here. The first arc of the story is over. That was one heck of a ride. However, this is just the beginning. I'm about to get into much more original content and split a bit from the manga. I may return to it eventually, I'm not sure though. The overhaul arch was to get to know my version of these two, and while I think the arch was very poorly paced, I think to kinda had to be is to not just restate everything in the manga. I hope you guys are ready for the second arch of the story. See you guys in the next chapter. Kenny Boy, where stories live. Discover now.